Hello, Assalamu alaikum everybody. Hope you're all safe, sound, and healthy. And I'm back because I've noticed that there are a few points that I was supposed to make an argument on in my last episode, and I kind of forgot, and I'm sorry about that. So let's take it from there. As we know, as I said, there were two judges against whom a no confidence petition has been filed. One I already mentioned was was Amar Farooq, the Chief Justice of Islamabad High Court, against whom Imran Khan's lawyers have filed a no confidence. And then you have the Supreme Court, where we've got a biased judge leading a six-member bench trial or hearing on an appeal brought in by the military courts, and or in short, brought in by the caretaker government, in which he refused to recuse himself. And then we have our Chief Justice, Isa Faiz, who, again, he has two of his colleagues file a no trust or a no confidence against him. So there is that going on. But then another thing which I wanted to talk about was how, in fact, I actually talked about it in my last episode, but I didn't expand on it. For example, when I kept on talking about how I feel that all these very conveniently timed terrorist attacks on our army bases are false flag operations. And I'll tell you why. Because, first of all, I don't know if I mentioned this in my last episodes or not, but there is this news that Pakistan is basically giving its bases to the US, right? So, as you know, Imran Khan had withdrawn from that. That is one of the biggest reasons why America has a problem with our real elected Prime Minister, Imran Khan. The fact that he refused to grant US bases in Pakistan and that he made them leave because we did not want them to conduct any war using our land. As we have seen, this is something they've always done. This is something the US has always done. It has always used other countries' lands to incite war, like how it used Ukraine. Now, it has been wanting to use Pakistan, as we know, because as long as US has a stronghold on Pakistan, then it has a stronghold on Russia or China, you can say, as in it has a stronghold or a strong footing, where it can set its base and conduct a war. Now, because Imran Khan refused to allow them that, and because Imran Khan made them leave their bases, but now, as you know, our Chief of Army Staff is in America at this very moment, and there is this rumor going around that he plans on finalizing, or that probably he already has finalized, giving the bases to the US. Now, there was also a Twitter that was a statement or a tweet that was made on Twitter by... Right, sorry, but there was a lot of interruptions. So, as I said, there was this tweet that was posted by one of the ministers of Balochistan, and he deleted it as well after a short while. But it was a tweet that was picked up by the news outlets, by the media, and there was something because of he put in some 7 points, and one of the points that he put in was that America should be given bases in Pakistan so that they could, attack Afghanistan, the Afghanistan Taliban, because according to him, they are the ones who are responsible for the terrorist activities in Pakistan. Now, number one, as this is something that we all know, the TTP's very origin and existence has always been suspect. So the TTP, which is allegedly the Pakistan Taliban, as we know, never really existed. This was a cover in which we strongly have always suspected that they are actually undercover. Either they're mercenaries or they're undercover agents, part of a covert operation of the ISI that are working within Pakistan, pretending to be terrorists to conduct false flag operations. And this is because they were doing that in cahoots with America, in order to allow America to maintain its bases both in Afghanistan and Pakistan, so that it could continue to overpower or invade, or in any other way basically have control over Afghanistan. So now, as we know, the US has been forcing Pakistan to be a part of its wars. Liaquat Ali Khan was killed because he refused to allow Pakistan to be a part of US wars or US agenda. And once again, Imran Khan is basically all but sentenced to death. And the reason why I keep on insisting that, the death sentence is all but given is because it has already been drafted by the justice. So if it has already been drafted by the judge or the justice, then it means that this is something that they have already laid plans out for, and this is something that we already know. Imran Khan knows it. That is why when he had this heated speech, or this heated argument with the judge, he said, I'm not scared of a death sentence. You can give me a death sentence for all I care, but I'm going to keep on standing, for what's right, and I'm going to keep on standing for my rights. So and as we know, he was very heated when he told the judge that, why don't you add that add that also to my charges, that my own government was ousted, my own government was collapsed, and yet we are made the perps. That we, the victims, have been very neatly made the perps of something that was done to us. And added to the charge that I have been fighting for national security and for my country's independence and sovereignty. So he was pretty much pissed off, and he had every right to be. And the fact that the judge did not even allow him to talk or to make his statement or to give his opinion on what's happening to him, that is also very, very, very condemnable. And that again shows how the abuse of authority is taking place very blatantly, and that the very court that Imran Khan had put his bets on, the very court that Imran Khan gambled on, staking his life, is letting him down. And this is something that I've always said, that Imran Khan should, and many, in fact, most of us Pakistanis agree on this, that Imran Khan should never have trusted the law, because the whole point is that we don't have any implementation of the law. The whole point is there is no law in Pakistan. So why would he put his life at risk, trusting the very law, the very legal system that we are challenging, But anyway, so again, I digress. So basically, from what we understand, the fact that they are trying to blame Afghanistan's government again for these very conveniently timed terrorist activities on our army. And again, this is in southern Punjab, which is way, way, way far away from the borders of Afghanistan. And that is the point that the Afghanistan government spokesman has made, that the recent attack on your army base, which is in southern Punjab, is nowhere near us. We're nowhere near the borderline. So I don't see how you very easily, thought that it was a good idea to blame us. But as I said, the reason why I kept on saying that this is a false flag operation is because I have two things in mind. This is something that I've been saying for a very long time, that you will expect more terrorist activities, very conveniently timed terrorist activities, because this is exactly what the fifth columnists have done every single time they've come, right, with the establishment, which is obviously an establishment made up of traitors in any case. So the army, the establishment, the government, they have all been working towards, as we know, destroying Pakistan's sovereignty. And now also, because they are working towards, there is already an unofficial dictatorship. Every single thing has proved that. The fact that the Supreme Court has surrendered to military courts, to the army, the fact that the High Court is with its own hands unraveling the law, the fact that you have unqualified, biased judges who are making decisions on behalf of the Pakistani establishment and army. These are all evidences of the fact that we have an unofficial dictatorship. And I feel that these false flag operations, not only, I mean, they're working, it's not even two stones, sorry, it's not even two birds one stone, but it's actually three birds one stone. Why? Because on the one hand, they are killing off all those people within the institution who could give rise to mutiny, and number two, they are working towards an official dictatorship to take official control, and direct control. And number three, because they are working with America right now, in the Ukraine war, giving weapons, and they are working with America, while keeping silent on Palestine, while just pretending to be there for Palestine, but actually on the inside, they are not with Palestine. And this goes against the very foundation, the very idea, the very constitution of Pakistan, in which we do not accept Israel as a country at all. And America does not accept the Afghan Taliban as a government of Afghanistan. So America needs, as I've said a million times, and you can see that whatever I said is being proved by every step that they take and every move that they make, that America needs Pakistan's land, they need Pakistan's soil, so that they can comfortably wage war against China, Russia, and they can comfortably recolonize Asia. And India is so stupid that India actually thinks that America is working with India, but America is not actually working with India. No, India will be America's next target. While they're pretending to work with India to commit genocide in Kashmir, they are actually going to make India break into a million pieces and collapse as well. Okay? So India can collapse for all I care at this point. I can no longer, sympathize with India at this point, because India is so stupid. It actually deserves whatever hole it's digging itself into. As we know, Kashmir was made the issue in order to empower Pakistan's military. India refused to empower its military to this extent, regardless of the issue of Kashmir. But the Kashmir issue was the basis behind the empowerment of the Pakistani military by the British, the Americans. And that is how they have used the Pakistani army to commit treason against Pakistan time and time again. And once again, the army is going to give bases, or in fact already has given bases to America. And the pretext of, letting America, use their bases in Pakistan to target the enemies, in this case Afghanistan. But actually, this whole international conspiracy of America, of the NATO alliances, the whole UK, Europe, America alliance, as we know, it is basically waging war and destroying the whole world once again. And they think that they're going to benefit from it, but actually they're the first ones that are going to be destroyed. It's a hard fact. The fact that they're so blind that they can't see it is delusional of them, really. Well, let them live in their delusions, because we at least should not be delusional. We should be able to see exactly what's going on. What's going on is America wants to recapture Afghanistan, okay, so that it can continue to loot and plunder. And after all, remember, not only are the minerals, it's not just the minerals in Afghanistan that America and its NATO allies are after, but it's basically drugs, okay? The poppy fields that the Afghan Taliban is famous for destroying on a yearly basis, that is what the British government and the American government has always had as their bread and butter, to finance all their terrorist activities all over the world, to finance their control all over the world, to finance their interference all over the world. So that is their major problem here, okay? So that is their major concern, and that is they need the drugs from Afghanistan. Then they need to be able to combat China and Russia from a closer front, and that is Pakistan. And China and Russia are very, very aware of it, which is why China and Russia have always tried to help Pakistan to achieve its goals in steering away from the US alliance. Okay, But that is why, again, America jumped in very aggressively this time and ousted Imran Khan, and now is actually trying to kill Imran Khan. Remember, this will be the sixth known murder committed by America on Pakistan soil of a Pakistani elected leader. Now, when we go through that, we can now easily understand why the Pakistani army is creating these false flag operations, killing its own, right? So it's getting rid of potential mutiny within the army. It is getting ready for an excuse for official dictatorship, and it is getting ready for America to set its base here so that America can wage its war on Pakistan soil. So once again, the 9/11 charade, which cost Pakistan a lot, that is being repeated. That is being repeated. Okay? Pakistan does not need America to combat Afghanistan, to be very honest. Pakistan has its own weaponry. Pakistan has its own drones, weapon carrying drones. Pakistan has the technology to even down American drones, in case you didn't know that. So Pakistan, with all its technology, needs America to come set a base here to help combat with Taliban. Seriously. First of all, we all know that the TTP is just a name given to those people who are in charge of false flag operations under covert operations in the umbrella of ISI. Just like how we know ISIS is actually a joint task force formed by the MI6 and Israel's Mossad and the American CIA. I mean, everybody who actually knows their stuff, they know all that. Only an idiot would be fool enough to think that, oh, ISIS really was a Muslim terrorist outfit, and oh, TTP really existed. Yeah, BS, total BS. So keeping all of that in mind, you need to understand, again, it is imperative for the world to wake up. It is imperative for the world to work together to stop these atrocities, because every single atrocity that your country and our country and all these different countries are facing right now, these are all steps taken towards the main goal, towards the main agenda, okay? And that is a full-fledged war. And that is why the United Nations was made. Let me also remind you, because this is something I've said before as well. The United Nations was not made for all the countries to be able to sit and peacefully work things out to help each other. No, the United Nations was made for the UK, the US, and their NATO allies to hold control over the world, to maintain control over the world, and to be able to regain and recolonize when and if needed. Not that they really need to recolonize, because again, they never actually let the colonies go. If even now Pakistanis and the rest of the world sit on their haunches and allow these atrocities to be committed both in Palestine, in Kashmir, and Pakistan, and in other countries, then we are all aiders and abettors in mass murders, in massacres, in genocides, and in the destruction of the world that's coming soon. We are all murderers. Pakistanis especially, get off your asses. Don't wait for a miracle. Don't sit and think, oh, things will go. I think if anything, this army has shown you that yes, they will cross all limits. They will cross all boundaries for their master, the US. They are not going to hold back. They are going to commit genocide of their own people. They're going to kill innocent people. They are going to be, because you have never seen such a dictatorship before, so I know it's very hard for you people to believe that they can actually go to this extent. But remember, this is America pushing for a world war. So yes, they will cross all boundaries. They will cross all limits. And they will not hold back. This is me signing out. Khuda Hafiz.